Coming up on show 857, Tesla looks like they're beginning the trials of production of the Model Y long-range version. And if you stick around, I've got the details. Plus, SK Innovation developing the next generation of batteries with Professor John Goodenough. A new racing series from the FIA announced, and why Ford are using geofencing technology on their Transit plug-in hybrid. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening in the world. Welcome to EV News Daily for Monday, 3rd of August. My name is Martyn Lee, and I go through every EV story, so you don't have to. To save you time, I know you're busy. I'll do the legwork and put it into a 10 or 15-minute podcast, maybe 20 minutes sometimes if I'm getting waffly, to save you the time. Thank you as always to myev.com for helping me make this show. In the US, you can find MyEV as a marketplace that's totally free to use, and especially if you're new to EVs, maybe you're learning about EVs along the way, and you want something that simplifies the buying and selling process, maybe to help you learn about EVs along the way too. Check out myev.com. Well, SK Innovation and Professor John Goodenough, yes, the man behind the lithium-ion battery itself, are going to join forces to develop next-generation batteries with higher energy density, better safety, and competitive cost. You may be surprised to hear that Professor John Goodenough is still working and changing the world. He's about 400 years old, and good on him. I mean, why not? Why slow down and stop and play golf and retire when he's got so much more to give? Well, the area of interest is a new gel-polymer electrolyte system that has the potential to suppress dendrite growth in cells with the lithium metal anode and ultimately shorten the time to market for an all-solid lithium metal battery, says InsideEVs. Professor John Goodenough is the 2019 Nobel laureate in chemistry and one of the top brains in lithium-ion batteries. According to the South Korean company SK Innovation, the current lithium-ion technology is not likely to overcome the threshold of 800 watt-hours per litre of energy density. And to go higher, like 1,000 watt-hours per litre of energy density, you need a lithium metal anode combined with a solid-state electrolyte. That is the most promising solution. Now, Goodenough and Dr. Hadi Khani at the University of Texas in Austin aim to develop unique gel-polymer electrolytes for a lithium metal battery with the goal of providing higher energy density and better safety, but at a more competitive cost. This sounds like the Holy Grail. Now, it may take years before the right solution will be found and implemented in a commercial product, but they say we're quite optimistic about the progress. Always good to hear about this cutting-edge research in battery technology, which, the batteries in our EVs right now are good, right? I mean, they're better than good. I wouldn't complain at the performance of most EVs that I've driven, but it's so good to see that there's exciting work being done on the future. Okay, let's talk about Tesla Giga Berlin next. Admittedly, in the past, I have been wearing my cynical pants when I've talked about whether you could make a factory in Europe as quick as they made it in China, which was pretty much a year. Well, it was a year from groundbreaking to producing the cars, but it looks like Tesla Giga Berlin could actually be built faster than the existing Giga Shanghai, said the Minister of Economy, Labour and Energy at the state of Brandenburg. The goal at Tesla seems to be to undercut the Shanghai Gigafactory's construction time yet again. They told the publication Welt am Sonntag, according to Tasmanian, a faster build pace is possible due to the use of prefab parts during construction, which we talked about on the podcast last week. Well, a few days ago, Elon confirmed that Giga Berlin will be built at incredible speed, noting that the prefab construction method in Germany is very impressive. Tesla built Giga Shanghai in 11 months. The company gained approval for foundation work in Grünheide in the Brandenburg area at the end of May, and the construction could already be completed by next April, according to the currently unveiled plan. Tesla aiming to start production from mid-2021. Model Y comes first out of Tesla Giga Berlin. So the local company was established for Giga Shanghai on the 8th of May 2018. So from the 8th of May 2018 to when the car first ran off the production line, it was the 7th of January 2020. So you're almost looking at 2 years. The local company in Europe, Giga Berlin, was established on the 15th of November 2019, and yet they're already levelling the ground in March. They are transferring the land around in April. They are putting up concrete pillars by July. In China, the groundbreaking ceremony was the 7th of January 2019. And coincidentally or not, it was the 7th of January 2020 when the first cars rolled off the production line. A year to a day to start building cars in a brand new factory. From the groundbreaking ceremony to the steel pillars going up to the first walls going up. Groundbreaking was on the 7th of Jan last year. The first walls went up on the 25th of April. So that was the almost the fifth month of the year. Whereas in Germany, groundbreaking was the 27th of May. The first walls went up in July. So again, you're knocking a couple of months off that timeline. And it looks like, well, first cars could be rolling off the production line. Like I say, it'll be Model Y in Giga Berlin. Oh, I'd love it to be a right-hand drive version because I quite fancy one, but it definitely won't be. It'll be a left-hand drive European version, and that looks like it could be set for sometime summer next year. Let's say the month of July. Yeah, so sometime in that period. If they hit it, it will be astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. If they actually get the production line up and running by the 27th of May next year, well, that'll be exactly the same as Giga Shanghai. So it'll be a year to the date. 27th of May next year is when they actually need to have the machines in and starting to produce those first pre-production cars. Be amazing if they can do that. Deeply, deeply impressive. And again, in the past I've had my cynical pants on because we can get tied up in administration, in all sorts of just bureaucratic processes. Now, worth saying that I follow Tesla as close as I have to do to report on this podcast, but otherwise I could just spend my life watching drone videos of Giga Berlin going up. I think it's still not a done deal. As in, they've signed the contract to start work, but I don't know if they've actually signed the final. They're still talking about things like water provisioning. And now some companies would say, right, we're not spending a penny until we've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. Tesla seem to have gone, look, we'll work it out. Whatever we need to do, we'll work that out. We'll get it all signed off eventually, but just start building, which is a fair old set of kahunas when you think that it all could, for some reason, stop. I don't think it will, by the way. But I'm just saying, until that signature is on the page at the bottom, which I don't think that final agreement has been done yet, that they're actually allowed to do the factory. I mean, it's optimistic. There's a bit of pressure on the shoulders of those people that Elon has tasked with delivering it. Exciting stuff. There's a new electric racing championship coming. It's the brand new all-electric FIA ERX2 championship, officially unveiled a couple of days ago and set to become a support series for the 2021 FIA World Rallycross Championship, replacing the current RX2 International Series, says the website Checkered Flag. The new class is sanctioned by the FIA, Federation Internationale l'Automobile, or de l'Automobile, and is a joint venture between the Spanish electric tech company QEV Tech and RX Promotion, and the organisation currently behind both the RX2 International Series and the Supercar Lights is what they do. Well, the cars are going to be based on the current generation ICE versions of the Supercar Lights that are manufactured by Abitas Motorsport, and the drivetrain developed by the Spanish company QEV will have 250 kilowatts of power in the motor, 32 kilowatt hours of energy stored in the battery, driving all four wheels, a 25-minute driving range before they stop and get recharged. But that's the way Rallycross works. You just need those short bursts of power. Each charging session is 20 minutes, and then they'll be ready to go again. Jon Orrus, the COO of QEV Tech, said, and I quote, "With short, sharp races, Rallycross is the ideal discipline for electric cars, and we are confident ERX2 will generate more dynamic and spectacular action that has never been seen before. Not only will the degree of torque available to make the car considerably quicker than the current model, will also be more challenging to drive. On the limit, it'll be a key factor in helping to prepare competitors for the subsequent step up to supercar level. One of the aspects I like," he says, "most about the ERX2 car is the additional areas which the driver can make a real difference, from the distribution of torque to brake bias, which simply isn't possible with an internal combustion engine vehicle. Being able to manually balance the car in its performance mid-race while travelling side by sides at 150 kilometers an hour will truly showcase a driver's skill set and technical understanding," end quote. And I'll pop a link in the show notes if you'd like to find out more. Long-time listeners know I am excited about electric motorsport because I love motorsport with combustion engines. I just adore watching competitive motorsport, and I know that we need to be moving more of that to electric power. And I'll be the first to admit that Formula E hasn't fully captured the imaginations of so many people, but with new series like Extreme E coming and now this series as well, I'm hoping that more people, we don't need to electrify Formula One tomorrow. Doesn't need to be done. But where it can be done, using like I say, things like rallycross, where you do short stages, and even rally cars themselves as well. There's going to be people that miss the pop and the bang of an exhaust and a combustion engine. I get that. I'm not trying to change those people's minds. But when you provide new challenges for the drivers, because don't swap technology like for like, but give them new toys to play with, hopefully people will come on board. And when people see electric cars being raced on a Sunday, they're more likely to go buy one on a Monday. Well, Ford has added geofence technology to its Transit custom plug-in hybrid, enabling the vehicle to switch into EV-only mode when it gets into an urban area. The option is set to become increasingly useful in the coming years as low-emission zones get rolled out across many UK towns and cities, says Next Green Car website. They say this will see the van automatically switch to electric power alone where there is charge remaining to do so. To ensure that the Transit custom, the plug-in hybrid, meets regulations to enter certain areas. You can also avoid fines if you're running on electric power. The geofencing technology can be customised to allow the vehicle owners and operators to make their own green zones around schools and parks or near depots. Using live location data, Ford will recognise when it's reaching a green zone, either an official or a self-created one, and it will turn on electric power. A 1-litre petrol engine, a 13.6 kilowatt-hour battery, does 31 miles of electric driving. I don't know what happens when you've got no battery power and then you drive into an ultra-low emission zone. I mean, how do you find the owner of that vehicle for driving on polluting petrol rather than clean green electricity? I don't know how that works. And also, if you've got no power, if you've got no energy left when you've been driving around the city all day, the engine's going to have to come on. So you could enter the zone on electric power, but then have to be driving around on petrol. Something seems that they haven't explained it in either in the article or the press release, or I need to do some further understanding of this technology, which is good, but they're also introducing green number plates to this country this autumn. Now, although there's unspecified benefits to green number plates, one of them will be that you are allowed to go into those green low-emission zones in towns and cities charge-free. And the UK government, at least, speaking at least for this country, have said that anything with an engine, so a plug-in hybrid, a hybrid, a soft hybrid, a range extended, BMW i3 even, if it burns anything, it doesn't get green number plates, and without a green plate, it misses out on those as yet to be decided benefits, and that could be driving in bus lanes, free parking, just avoiding those emissions charges. So that's an interesting one as well. Ford are solving a problem with technology which might not be a problem they need to solve, because unless their vans have got green number plates, they won't be allowed in these areas anyway. Okay, a company making great commercial vehicles is BYD. Build Your Dreams announcing today that customers' battery electric buses that they've sold have logged 13 million miles in the US. Of course, all zero emission, as BYD buses are pure electric. They've saved over 16,000 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions. 50 customers across the US are generating these miles, driving BYD buses from Martha's Vineyard to Indianapolis to Palo Alto and Los Angeles. Zero emission mileage logged by the US BYD customers is the equivalent of 520 trips around the globe. Every zero-emission bus that BYD sell, they say, eliminates around 1,700 tons of CO2 over its 12-year lifespan, according to the US Transportation Department. BYD's 13 million mile emission-free landmark is the equivalent of removing 13,000 cars from the road in one go. Enough to fill, the parking lot at Angels Stadium of Anaheim. Stacked on top of each other, it's enough cars to be 3 times taller than Mount Everest. So it's that kind of an achievement they're doing. 13 million emission-free miles travelled by BYD buses have eliminated the need for transit agencies and operators to consume 3.3 million gallons of disgusting dirty diesel, resulting in millions of dollars in savings to partly US taxpayers and the operators as well. Brilliant news, and good luck to BYD. They do a lot of commercial vehicles in the US. They've got their headquarters there and a factory there, and it kind of largely goes under the radar, but a company that I highly rate. A couple of stories, by the way, on different countries doing well around the world, and then we'll get onto our headline story. Share-wise, Finland has become a major plug-in market last month, thanks to impressive growth rates, with 2020 having big growth rate of plug-in cars, 117% up year-on-year, and with the mainstream market falling, down 22% year-on-year, the plug-in share of the market is now 16%, and any country getting to 16% of the market of new cars being plug-in is doing very well. According to EV-Sales blog, this continues to be a plug-in friendly market. Pure battery electric vehicles only represent 20% of the total. The rest are plug-in hybrids. Funnily enough, the best-selling BEV, battery electric vehicle, isn't a Tesla. It's a Volkswagen e-up. As for the plug-ins that sell well, the Finnish do love their plug-in hybrids. Skoda Superb plug-in hybrid. The Volvo S60 V60 plug-ins also doing well on the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, and the BMW X5 plug-in hybrid all doing well. And then moving on to the French market, in July, because the numbers are coming in, we're now in August, we're getting those stats, the early data coming in, the plug-in passenger vehicle sales were 9.5% compared to 2.5% in July last year. All of these numbers are just incredible, and now the data is kind of coming through and proving what you and I have known, which there was a bit of a backlog, a delay. Like, we know there's been great EVs on the market, and maybe you drive one, and maybe you're EV curious, and you're going to buy one at some point in the future or learning about them, but we know that there's been great cars to buy for a while, and now the data is coming through to say, oh look, if you put them on sale, people buy them. If you build it, they will come. The overall automotive market showed a continuous recovery after the virus. Top-selling plug-in vehicles included the Renault Zoe, homegrown Zoe, and the homegrown Peugeot E208, according to the French news website fr24news.com. Well, in France, plug-in sales volume in July was 17,000, up from 4,250 in July last year, a 4x growth in absolute sales. Detailed breakdown of July, the plug-in vehicle share was about 10,000 vehicles were pure battery electric and 7,000 vehicles were plug-in hybrid. A slightly stronger growth rate in the share of plug-in hybrids year over year, but pure electrics remain vastly the more popular type of electric car to buy in France. And finally, last but not least, is the headline story today. Tesla has started trial production of the Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive ahead of an imminent launch, according to sources familiar with the matter, leaking the details to Electrek. When Tesla launched the Model Y, that was back in March 2019, Elon on stage listed 4 different versions of the Model Y. Standard range, now a goner. Long range, dual motor all-wheel drive, and performance, with, of course, a long-range battery. Now, according to Electrek today, Tesla put a few Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive vehicles through a trial run on their assembly line, GA4, General Assembly 4. They put it through GA4 before temporarily shutting it down to then upgrade the line permanently. Tesla's yet to open orders for the new version of the vehicle, but we know it's coming. Elon said it's coming this autumn, and it could be soon. It would be my weapon of choice, personally. Go for range. Always want range. Range. But the performance is still going to be so good. Anyone that managed to bag themselves a Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive when they could, will testify that the performance of that car is still spectacular. Sure, all-wheel drive might be better, but you've got the range. Go range. Every day of the week, if you possibly can. You've got the choice. Now, when they do open the orders of the vehicle, Tesla haven't yet confirmed the price, but Elon hinting around $45,000 when first announcing the new version. And earlier last week, Electrek reporting that Tesla surprisingly lists the Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive on its loan calculator. Now, that data has since been removed from the internet, but at the time, they picked up that the Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive showed up on the loan calculator, listed at $48,000. So from memory, it's $49,990 for the dual motor all-wheel drive. That is 316 miles EPA, 135 miles an hour top speed, 4.8 seconds 0 to 60. Then there's the all-wheel drive performance, which will do 291 miles EPA, so less, but 155 miles an hour top speed, and a crazy ridiculous 3.5 seconds 0 to 60 time. That does set you back 59,990. And so whether you want to go for that performance one, of course you get the performance brakes, the lower suspension, the aluminium pedals, the 21-inch Uber turbine wheels, or if you, like me, don't mind about the performance so much. I mean, look, it's a fun party trick, but you can't use that performance on real-world road driving if there's any other car on the road, sensibly, if you're going to drive like a responsible person and actually just get the car with the most range, which will be this one. Model Y, rear-wheel drive, and I don't know what the range is going to be. I think it's been like there's rumours fly around, don't they, on the forums, and but let's wait and see. Well, that's your show for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and you can feedback anytime you want. I check out the comments on the YouTube show It's only the audio. Who wants to look at this space? Or email me, hello@evnewsdaily.com. An update on the show as well. We will be going 5 days a week as a trial period, Monday to Friday, after loads of feedback over the last week of people saying, look, I don't mind if you're busy. I know you're a new dad and you are crazy busy with that. If you want to do EV News Daily being a Monday to Friday weekday show, that's fine. So I appreciate that, but I would point out a lot of the feedback also said, but we'd like it regularly, like just the same time every day, so you can build it into your commute. I've listened to that, and I will hold up that end of the bargain. So interviews will still be on Saturday, so it's from 7 down to 6. I'll thank the Patreon supporters, the exec producers, as always, on Friday show now rather than Sunday show, and it doesn't stop me doing extra stuff, but it just means that my workload's a little more sensible. So thank you very much for all your feedback. It's only a trial. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to 7 days, and I really appreciate everyone's kind words about this show as well. If you can ever go on to iTunes, like the app on your phone or tablet, or iTunes on a computer, Shudder, you can... terrible software. You can, if you want to, click on this podcast, click on ratings and reviews, or maybe it's reviews and ratings, and say a few words. You haven't got to, but if that's the only thing that you feel that you can support this show, whether you might not want to share it, you might want to be a Patreon supporter, but if you can leave a review, it really, really helps me out. And, put as many stars as you want. I mean, I'll be cheeky and say 5 stars is nice, but either way, say what you reckon, and I will listen to all of that feedback. And it helps other people discover the show as well. Thank you very much for that. Everyone who is on socials, contacting me all the time, I appreciate that. And I love to have a chat with you. Thank you to our premium partners, Phil Roberts of Electric Future, Brad Crosby, Avid Technology, Porsche of the Village Cincinnati, Audi of Cincinnati East, and Volvo Cars of Cincinnati East. Also, nationalcarcharging.com in the US, and in Hawaii, AlohaCharge.com. If you are interested in EV hardware for charging, that's the team you want to get in contact with. And now, as of this week, Derek Riley from the EV Review Ireland YouTube channel. Thank you for listening today. Catch you tomorrow, and remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.